The episode begins with God explaining to this ugly loser boy named Tuya that he is dead because he inadvertently dropped some lightning on him by mistake. He then explains that Tuya would be resurrected in a new world due to the rules stating that he cannot be revived in the world he died in, though in exchange, he will grant Tuya one request as compensation for his mistake. Tuya asks if he can carry his smartphone, which God agrees to do after also granting him an increase in his basic stats, such as speed and memory. Later, Tuya awakens in the new world under a tree before receiving a call from God concerning his smartphone. After disconnecting the call and walking a short distance, Tuya encounters Zanuck Zenfield, the owner of a clothing store, who wishes to purchase his school uniform, which he was still dressed in upon arriving in this world. After parting ways with Zanuck, Tuya encounters the Silueska twins Els and Linza on his way to the Silver Moon Inn, who are in the middle of an argument with some thugs over the price of a crystal antler they were hired to acquire. Intervening in the argument, Tuya offers to buy the antler from the two girls in exchange for 1 gold coin, which they immediately agree to. He then breaks the antler, enraging the thugs, who try to attack him in retaliation, but he easily defeats them. After introducing themselves to each other, Tuya and the Silueska twins return to the Silver Moon Inn, where the twins were staying and where Tuya was headed before their encounter. There, Micah, the inn owner, thinks that Els has found boyfriend, but she quickly denies this. The next day, Tuya and the girls traveled to the Adventurer Guild, where they took a request to subjugate a pack of one-horned wolves. After accomplishing their task and receiving the reward, Tuya and the girls return to the Silver Moon Inn, where Tuya asks Els and Linza to teach him to read and write in their language, and how to use magic, which surprises the twins. Linza then starts to teach Tuya how to use magic by demonstrating to test for magic with magic spell stones by using the water spell stone, explaining that magic aptitude differs between each person. An example of this shown with Linza being able to use water magic while Els cannot. When Tuya tests for his magic aptitudes, he is shown to be able to use 6 of the 7 magic aptitudes. When asked by Tuya, Linza explains that it is rare for a single person to have more than 3 magic attributes, which Linza possesses: water, light, and fire. At the same time, it is more common for a person to have 1 or 2 magic aptitudes, which Els has been null, personal magic. When Tuya decides to test to see if he possesses null magic by using the gate spell, he and the twins are stunned when the stone reacts and the gate is opened. Upon peeking their heads through the open gate, Linza realizes that they had appeared in the eastern forest where they subjugated the one-horned wolves. Later in the Silver Moon Inn, Els and Linza express their disbelief at how powerful Tuya's magic is and how many attributes he can use. Micah then introduces Tuya and the others to Air, who runs the parent cafe in town. She then asks if any of them knows any new recipes that she could try in her restaurant, with Els and Linza saying that they don't know any. Tuya suggests ice cream, confusing everyone. It doesn't exist here. Tuya takes out his smartphone, calling it null magic. He doesn't want to discuss much. He asks Linza if ice can be made with magic, which she confirms is just another form of water magic. Everyone enjoys the ice cream. Air is sure it will be a hit at her shop. Receiving praise, Tuya instead thanks everyone else, confusing them. Loser Tuya and the twins, Els and Linza, arriving in a new town while on their way to deliver a letter to a person in the royal capital, a guild request. Tuya believes they should have taken the Mega Slime Subjugation request instead, since it paid better. However, the girls are against it. Els tells him that slimes are disgusting, and some can even melt clothes. They then come across a scene unfolding nearby involving a young girl and several men. It turns out the girl is being targeted because she previously helped get some drunks arrested. Tuya steps in, followed by Els to help her. Hearing the guards are coming, they quickly retreat into an alley with the girl. The girl introduces herself as Yae Kokono, a traveler from Edo, Ishin. Loser Tuya introduces himself, which makes Yae think he's from Ishin, too. However, he quickly deflects that he's from somewhere similar. Yae explains that she's on a journey to improve her skills. Linza wonders where Yae plans to go, to which she says the royal capital, the same destination as the trio. Though Tuya is still worried about funds, They invite her to accompany them. Linza hands Tuya a spell book on null magic, which has some silly spells like curling hair and making dogs friendly. He finds one called a port that can pull distant objects to his hand. He fails. Els wonders what he tried to take. Tuya explains he tried for one of Ye's katana. He realizes he can only take small things and tries again, taking Ye's ribbon. Linza and Els believe the spell is dangerous. He then wonders if he can use a port to take someone's underwear, prompting the sisters to cower away from him. Later, Tuya finds a spell in the book called Slip, which removes friction in the designated area. He thinks it's only valid for specific situations. Tuya then notices a smell. Thanks to the spell, blood coming from straight ahead. Upon arriving at the scene, Tuya and the others discover a carriage guarded by soldiers coming under attack by creatures summoned by a magician, lizardmen. While Els, Linza, and Ye get rid of the lizardmen, Tuya removes the magician using the slip spell. After dispatching the enemy creatures, Tuya and the others find a critically injured man on the verge of death, using a combination of healing magic and a port, which he uses to extract a piece of an arrow that was stuck inside his body. He can save the man. Upon introductions, the group is surprised to discover that the young lady they are escorting is, in fact, the daughter of the Duke of Belfast, the king's younger brother, and thus royalty, who introduces herself as Sushi Ernia Ortlind. At the request of Liam, Sue's butler and the man Tuya saved, the group continues their journey to the royal capital with Sue's group. Upon arriving at the royal capital and her home, a large mansion, Tuya and the others are warmly welcomed by her father, the Duke of Belfast, who thanks Tuya and his friends for saving his daughter. Later, Tuya is conversing with the Duke about the attack on his daughter, and who could be behind it when Sue returns from speaking with her mother. Later, Tuya casts a spell on the Duchess, which is shown to be successful in the overwhelming happiness of the others. The Duke, thankful to Tuya for saving and protecting his daughter and restoring his wife's sight, gifts him a pouch containing 40 platinum coins. He then gifts Tuya and the girls with medals bearing his family's crest, allowing him to pass through city checkpoints and utilize facilities usually only available to nobility. With their quest done, Tuya asks what Ye plans to do next. Ye explains she wishes to stay with the trio as they have proven themselves noble warriors. Tuya, Linza, and Els welcome Ye to their party, with loser Tuya and the girls walking through the city, where Els suggests they do some shopping since they are in the royal capital, to which the others agree. After a short time exploring the city, Tuya and the others see a young girl, Arma Strand, who appears nervous and lost. Upon introducing themselves to Arma, who is initially scared, Tuya help her to find her sister. Tuya split from each to do their shopping. Tuya buys a magic coat that protects the wearer against magic attacks they have aptitudes for, but doubles the damage of magic they do not have an aptitude for. Due to heavy rain, Tuya and the others have been stuck inside the Silver Moon for 3 days, with Els asking Tuya to deliver some to the Duke upon their return. Later at the Duke's mansion, Tuya delivers the cakes to Duke's mansion while introducing him to Shogi as well, which he becomes immediately obsessed with Tuya agreeing to teach him how to play the game. After an unknown amount of time has passed, a few hours possibly, the Duke is still playing shogi with Tuya. Later, the group pays a visit to the guild in the royal capital, which is shown to be larger than the building in Reflect, to take on a new quest. Tuya once again suggests taking on a slime hunting quest, which the girls immediately reject due to their extreme dislike of slimes, though this doesn't stop him from fantasizing about the girls being attacked by slimes. They instead take on a subjugation request to take down a Dullen and a group of one-horned wolves that were in the old capital ruins, which they are successful in doing with a bit of difficulty. While taking a break after completing the quest, Tuya uses his search spell to look for any signs of treasure nearby, though his attempt fails. He tries again, this time searching for any signs of a historic treasure, with it being a success. They decide to look for Tuya's treasure, only to find a location buried under a veritable mountain of rubble. While trying to figure out how to get through it, Linza casts a powerful fire spell to destroy it. After traveling quite some distance underground, they come across a large wall covered in a strange language that even Linza couldn't understand. Tuya decides to take a picture of it, so that they can study it later. Taking a safe distance, in case it's a trap, the girls watch Tuya activate the symbol. The wall it's on dissolves to reveal a tunnel. They reach the end to find a strange glass statue. Linza's light ball is fading, prompting Tuya to ask if her spell is fading. It turns out it's unnatural, as the spell should last a few hours. Ye quickly notices a red glow coming from within the statue. Tuya realizes it's alive. The strange object begins releasing horrible sound waves that pain their ears and shake the room. Everyone makes it back safely, but their relief is short-lived. Tuya uses Slip, realizing only direct magical attacks can be absorbed. Linza drops ice on the monster, with Els using a full-powered boost kick to break its legs. Unfortunately, it regenerates and stabs Els. Tuya tends to Els, whose wound wasn't fatal. Tuya quickly realizes that the red orb in the monster is what gives it life. He poured it away, allowing Els to break it. The quartet quickly reports the incident to the Duke, to whom Tuya plans to gift copies of the photos taken by his smartphone so that historians and archaeologists can try deciphering the ancient language to learn more about the monster and why the capital was moved in that era. There's a good chance more of these creatures could be lurking in this world. Later, Tuya uses drawing magic to create copies of the pictures from his smartphone. He soon gets over to the Duke's mansion just as his carriage takes off. The carriage stops, and the Duke exits. Glad chance has brought Tuya to him again. Tuya wonders what's wrong, explaining that the king has been poisoned. The episode begins with the Duke explaining to loser Tuya his thoughts that the nobles of Belfast could be behind the poisoning of the king because they refused to ally with the kingdom of Mistmead. When they arrive at the castle, they are met by Count Balsa, who informs the Duke that a suspect has been apprehended in connection to the attempted assassination, which surprises the Duke. When questioned on the suspect's identity, Count Balsa states that it is the ambassador of Mistmead. Arriving at the room where the king is resting, the Duke requests that Tuya heal his brother quickly, which he does, much to the surprise of those present. After the attempted assassination was foiled, the king wished to speak to the ambassador of Mistmead, who was framed for the attempt on his life. The ambassador is Olga Strand, whom Tuya had previously met after helping her younger sister. Tuya decides to do some investigating to prove Olga's innocence. After investigating the incident scene with his search magic, Tuya discovers how the poisoning occurred. Calling everyone in the room at the time of the poisoning to the untouched dining hall, with Balsa shocked to see that the king has recovered, he deducts that the culprit is one of them. Balsa claims that Olga is the poisoner, but Tuya ignores him. It turns out Balsa poisoned all the king's glasses to ensure Olga got blamed as a poisoner because he hates beastmen and did not want Belfast to form an alliance with Mistmead. Tuya uses Slip to make sure Balsa can't run. Yamina is clearly smitten with Tuya's selflessness and courage. The king personally thanks Tuya for saving his life. Princess Yamina then asks her parents for their permission to marry Tuya, who she had fallen in love with, much to the other's surprise and shock, mostly Tuya's. The king explains that Yumina's heterochromic eyes can see a person's character, which is why she likes Tuya, and that despite being 12, royals typically settle on a partner by 15. Tuya rests in a guest room, lamenting he couldn't wiggle out of the arrangement. He gets a call from God, who has been watching him. Tuya asks God not to find his pain amusing, as he doesn't wish to think about marriage at his age. God tells him polygamy is typical in that world, so Tuya can take on as many wives as he wants. Tuya returned to the Silver Moon Inn, with Yamina in tow, explaining the situation to his companions and introducing them to Yamina as she lovingly hugs him, much to their surprise. After registering Yamina at the Adventurer Guild, they take up a quest to subjugate a pack of Kiniags in the southern forest. Along the way to their destination, Yamina explains to the others that despite her upbringing, she has been trained in archery and magic and is quite capable of both. After completing the request, Tuya and Yamina return to the Silver Moon Inn. As Tuya activates the summoning, a lot of magic is expelled, and a giant white tiger appears to answer the summoning. Yamina explains it is one of the 4 heavenly beasts known as the White Monarch. Tuya then asks him what the requirements for creating a contract with it were, with the White Monarch asking Tuya to pour his magic into him to ascertain how powerful he was. He does as the White Monarch requests, causing him to pass out due to the amount that Tuya released briefly. After the White Monarch recovers, he agrees to form a pact by asking Tuya to grant him a name, which he agrees to, and decides to call him Kahaku. After Kahaku agrees to his new name, he requests to remain with Tuya, which Tuya, agrees to, though he voices his concern about walking around with a giant tiger in populated areas. After briefly thinking about, Kahaku changes his appearance to become a tiny tiger cub, which surprises Tuya, though Tuya, admits that it should work. Kahaku tries to ask Tuya for help, only to be told to try and endure it, much to his shock. Loser Tuya and the girls, traveling to their next destination by cart. The girls are less than thrilled about their next guild quest, which involves searching the castle of a slime researcher who has gone missing. Tuya tries to cheer the girls up before they arrive at the castle, though they become skeptical of his enthusiastic demeanor towards this quest. Tuya and the others arrive at the castle. As they enter, Tuya is hit in the head with a wash basin that fell from above. While Tuya is reeling from pain, they then begin to look around the castle's first floor for any clues as to what the slime researcher was working on. Unable to find anything else of importance, Tuya decides to search the rest of the castle for the location of the slime researcher. They are forced to retreat to the second floor when the slimes begin to approach them, but are relieved when they are not followed to the next floor, which Linza believes is due to them setting up their territory on the lower floor. Unfortunately for the girls, they land in a group of green slimes that start to dissolve their clothes. Tuya can save them from the slimes by using his gate spell before their clothes are completely dissolved. But the girls were annoyed that their clothes were ruined due to the slimes, with Els attacking Tuya out of sheer embarrassment. As the group travels through the castle's second floor, with the girls wearing temporary clothes they found, Yamina and the other girls decide to destroy the castle when they are done due to their annoyance at what has happened thus far. Tuya then notices something strange about the statues before him while listening to the girls' conversation. While examining it, Tuya discovers that the statues' breasts are strangely softer than they were supposed to be. Around that same time, slimes that were attached to the statues appeared, startling the party, with Linza identifying them as bust slimes, slimes that attach themselves to girls with small breasts to accentuate them. Simultaneously, the slimes try to attack Yamina, for obvious reasons, though Yamina destroys them with one of her wind attribute spells before they could succeed. They later find the office of the slime researcher, in which they find his remains, having died some time ago. Tuya finds his journal in which he states that he had successfully achieved every man's dream while trying to figure out what he meant by that. Yamina alerts him to something nearby. Sometime later, the castle is burning with the girls watching blankly, glad the deviant research is destroyed. Tuya is perplexed. The researcher wanted to create slimes that could turn into naked servant girls. Later that day, Tuya walks through the town to show Kahaku around while carrying him in his arms. While observing the town, Kahaku notices Ye nearby trying to talk to a crying little girl. When Tuya speaks to Ye, she tells him that she found the child and was trying to help her. After reuniting the separated family, Ye asks Tuya how he found her. He explains that he used a feature on his smartphone to enhance the effect of his search spell. She requests that he tries to locate her brother, to which he agrees. He can then locate him in an area Ye confirms to be their family's dojo in her homeland. In the inn later, Tuya casts Enchant, long sense on his phone before using the camera function. He sees the bed in the room across the hall and pans to the back of it to find Linza in her underwear, putting on her tights. He can't help but peek. Linza asks him to help her learn ancient magic from a scroll. Tuya creates and enchants glasses to allow her to read the spells. Linza practices the spell Ballistic Bubble Bomb, but can't get it to work and runs out of mana. While she rests a bit, Tuya thinks of something. When Linza attempts again and wears herself out, sometime later, Els breaks her gauntlet. Tuya takes her to buy replacements. While walking back, Els is entranced by a gothic Lolita dress in a shop window. Tuya convinces her to try it on, finding her beautiful. Tuya buys it as a gift, so Els can't refuse to own it, and Els wears it out. Yae, Linza, and Yamina find the dress suiting for her. Yamina gets a letter from her father, who wishes Knight Tuya as thanks for his help. Tuya and the others arrive at the mansion that the King of Belfast had gifted to Tuya as a reward for saving his life. Upon entering the mansion, they are surprised by the size of the interior. Els and the others, minus Yamina, ask Tuya if it is really okay for them to stay here with him, as they had assumed it was just for Tuya and Yamina to live in. Tuya is surprised by their reaction, telling them that he likes them the same and considers them family. Leaving Kahaku with Tuya, Yamina runs off to find the girls. Later, while Tuya and Kahaku are enjoying their new garden, Yamina and the other girls return. Yae, Linza, and Els ask Tuya if it is really okay for them to live in the mansion with him. He reassures them that he has no problem letting them live in the manor with him. Tuya is introduced to several workers that were sent to the mansion by the king to manage it, including the king's personal butler Lame. Tuya and Yamina take tea in the backyard with Sky and her father. Sue is surprised to have heard of the engagement. The Duke reveals he wishes to hire Tuya for an adventurer quest to travel to Mistmead to meet the king and set up a gate spell to allow quick and safe passage between Belfast and Mistmead's rulers. Tuya, Linza, Els, Yae, and Yamina join Olga's group on their return trip to Mistmead. Belfast Knights, under the command of Lion Blitz, are also helping escort everyone. In one of the carriages, Yae attempts a game of matching card pairs with Yamina and Arma, but loses. Tuya offers to switch with Yae so that she can play shogi with Olga instead. A guard named Lane notices the sound of several people approaching with her rabbit ears, likely bandits. Tuya uses his smartphone to search for bandits, finding 28 of them. The next day, the group stopped in a town. Tuya, Yamina, and Arma find Lion shopping at the brooch stand. Tuya offers to get Arma one, asking what Olga likes, subtly telling Lion what to buy. They soon walk away, with Yamina admitting while it was sweet what Tuya did to help, she's a bit sad she didn't get anything. The group later crosses the river into Mistmead territory to get new carriages to resume traveling. Tuya suddenly notices a presence, which Kahaku telepathically confirms wasn't a figment of his imagination. As the group leaves, Tuya and Yamina notice Olga is wearing the brooch they suggested to Lion. At the village, the dragon is burning everything. At the same time, the knights help the villagers. The dragon is a child seeking to amuse itself. Tuya distracts the dragon while Linza cuts off its wings. Using Boost to get a safe distance from the dragon's fire breath with Linza, Tuya watches Yae blind one of its eyes. A giant red dragon arrives. Only this one apologizes for the other's misbehavior. Kahaku tells the red dragon that its master, the Azure Monarch, should be raising dragons with more discipline. Surprised to see the white monarch, the red dragon assumes Kahaku did the deed. However, Kahaku corrects the dragon. Tuya killed the other dragon, whom Kahaku believes deserved it for disrespecting him. The rest of the night, everyone works on putting out the fires, search and rescue, and healing. Els, Linza, and Yae are sleeping in a carriage by morning. A tired Tuya sits against a tree. Yamina gives him a blanket, and he falls asleep. Tuya wakes up to find his head on Yumina's lap. He quickly gets up and finds Linza, Yae, and Els grumpily standing nearby. They say nothing is wrong, while Yamina tells them to respect her one rock, paper, scissors. Tuya telepathically asks Kahaku what is going on, to which Kahaku states, "What does anyone fight over? Territory. +. Loser Tuya and the others are still helping to repair the damage caused by the Black Dragon's attack on the village. As a reward for saving their village, the Elder presents Tuya with one of the dead dragon's fangs. He informed Tuya that he could either sell it or inform to construct a new weapon since it was durable and lightweight. After continuing their journey to Mistmead, Tuya asks Kahaku if he saw or sensed anyone else nearby during the battle, which he confirms but initially believes to be one of the others in the group. They are welcomed by the king of Mistmead, Jamaica, who is surprised to see the Princess of Belfast among those who arrived. She explains that her father wishes to establish an alliance between their two countries and that she was sent to their kingdom as an envoy on the belief of the King of Belfast. After speaking with Yamina concerning the alliance, King Jamaica notices Tuya among her companions. He realizes he is the one who defeated the Black Dragon that attacked the LD village and thanks him for his efforts. He then proceeds to challenge Tuya to a mock battle and challenge how strong he is. They are equally matched until the king reveals his unique null magic spell, Excel. Tuya quickly copies the spell, turning the match into a fight so fast that none of the spectators can see them. Tuya mixes Excel and Boost, knocking down the king. The flash from his smartphone camera spooks everyone else. The king asks Tuya what he did. Tuya passes it off as null magic, showing the king the photo he took. Intrigued, the king wonders if the picture can be taken out. Later, an exhausted Tuya sits in a darkened hall. Hearing a squeaking sound, he turns to see a teddy bear walking around. It beckons him to follow. It leads Tuya to a room where a young girl with silver hair. Tuya introduces himself, being recognized as the Dragon Slayer. She introduces herself as Lean, an elder of the fairy tribe. Lean explains that her null magic program allows her to give situational commands to inanimate objects. She demonstrates by programming a chair to move when sitting, but realizes she forgot to add how setting it's supposed to move. When asked if she could command Paula to fly, Lean explains program can't make objects physically impossible. If you want an object to fly, Lean offers to become Tuya's teacher. Tuya quickly turns her down and leaves. Tuya rests in his guest room. Kaku wonders if he's okay. The next day, Tuya heads out and is met by Linza and Yamina. Ye and Els are training with the guards. Tuya uses Gate. Linza cuts up the dragon, Fong with water magic for Tuya. Tuya thanks Linza before using modeling to turn the Fong into gun parts. He quickly assembles a gun with a blade, using modeling. Impressed by the weapon, Linza and Yamina ask for guns too, so Tuya shows their images of single-hand guns on his smartphone. Kahaku quickly warns Tuya via telepathy that their stalkers are back. Tuya gets their location, deciding to greet the stalkers. He spooks two masked people who fled with a flash bomb. Using Excel and Boost, he surprised them in an alley before shooting them with rubber bullets coated with Paralyze. He searches for one, only to touch boobs. The woman's mask falls off to reveal Lapis. The other one is Cecile. Lapis shows they are spies from Belfast's espionage group Espion. They're supposed to secretly keep Yamina safe on the king's order. Keep Yamina safe on the king's orders secretly not been needed. Lapis asks Tuya to keep it a secret. Tuya rejoins the girls for curry. However, they can't handle the spiciness. The next day, Tuya creates a gate through mirrors to allow the kings of Belfast and Mistmead to meet. Elsewhere, Lean tells Paula that Tuya has become a person of interest to her. She plans to pay Charlotte, her apprentice, a visit to learn more about him. Tuya and the others return from the kingdom of Mistmead after successfully carrying out their assigned tasks. After resting for a bit from the recent events, Tuya decides to take a bath. However, we enters the bathroom changing room. Tuya finds all four girls in their underwear as they are about to bathe. Tuya barely gets out a squeak in shock. Linza and Yamina ask if he's learned his lesson, to which he smiles silently. The next day, Tuya is working on a backyard project using modeling on rubber and metal parts. Lame arrives, announcing the Duke has come to visit. The Duke doesn't have any pressing matters, so he decides to see how Tuya is doing. He takes an interest in the project. Shortly afterward, the Duke tries out a blue frame bicycle, with Lame on standby to help him. The Duke falls over. Tuya walks into town, musing Sue got her personality from her father. He walks up to an alley and hears a commotion. The kid was pickpocketing on the duo's turf and got too much attention. Tuya steps in, quickly incapacitating the pair with rubber bullets. The kid thanks Tuya, who tries lecturing, only to hear the poor child's stomach growl. After hearing the kid hasn't eaten in 3 days, he offers to buy a meal. She's a girl. The girl gives her name as Ren. At a park, Tuya asks Ren about herself, learning she's orphaned. Her father took a subjugation quest a year ago and never came back, and her mother died shortly after Ren was born. Tuya offers to employ her at his home, which Ren agrees to. She promises never to steal again. Sometime later, Yamaina has Tuya take her Kahaku and Sue to Miss Mead. Sue wanted to visit. Yamaina thanks him. At the marketplace later, the group watches Lion and Olga talk from the shade of trees, now with the king with them. The king explains he goes out in secret sometimes to clear his head. A moment later, some goons harass a fruit vendor. Lion quickly steps in to scold them. The king wishes to help. Tuya quickly turns the tables by telling Lion that he's been too timid to act on his feelings for Olga, using reverse psychology to make the knight admit his earnest desire to date Olga. Olga is flatter, accepting Lion's affection. Arma, Yamaina, and Sue come out of hiding, confusing the couple. Lean informs Tuya she was appointed Miss Mead's ambassador and will be staying in the Kingdom of Belfast, planning to visit him. She inquires about Tuya's usage of gate. Learning is limited to where he's been, though Lean tells him, recall, can allow him to see into another's memories to allow gate to go to the places in the other person's memory. Lean wishes for Tuya to take her far east to Ishin, where an ancient ruin is located. Charlotte explains Lean tends to act mainly on a whim. Ye is against having her memory seen by Tuya, but is calmed when Lean explains the spell will only show memories she wishes to share. Lean explains, recall, works by the user and target clasping hands and touching their heads together. Linza and Els are clearly jealous, while Yamaina takes action in stride. She knows Tuya doesn't see the action as romantic. On Lean's cue, Ye begins picturing Ishin. Tuya uses recall and sees the images. Charlotte promptly uses the moment to excuse herself to get away from Lean. Tuya promptly opens a gate, taking himself, Ye, Linza, Els, Kahaku, and Lean to Ishin. Tuya group has arrived in Ishin. Lean reveals that she seeks the Neruya ruins, but doesn't know where it is. Ye believes her father may know more, prompting Lean to insist they visit Ye's home. The group arrives at the Kokono home, where Ye is happily greeted by the housekeeper Ie. They next meet Ye's mother Nani Kokono, who wonders who the group is. Ye introduces them as her comrades who have helped her in the far west. Ye inquires about her father, whom Nani explains is in battle with Yaesu. The Takata clan is invading. Even Ye's brother Jitaro is fighting. Ye realizes that this is why Ito seemed off. The group arrives on a hill, a safe distance away from the fortress. Tuya uses his information on Jitaro to confirm he's safe for now. Tuya's first jump takes him to just outside the battlefield, where he sees the Takata warriors shambling forward no matter how much they get hurt. In the fortress, Tuya arrives. However, he is greeted by Jitaro's blade. Tuya conducts introductions and explains Ye is back in Ishin. He opens a gate, bringing everyone to the fortress. Jitaro wonders who the other girls are, to which Ye explains they are her comrades. Tuya inquires about the enemy, who only stop when their masks are broken. Lean guesses the masks are artifacts, believing Tuya's phone is one. Tuya quickly uses multiple to rain down shining javelin on the undead warriors, destroying them. Yamaina, Els, Linza, and Ye are again impressed with Tuya. Later, the group meets with Ye's father, Jubai, and Lord Tokugawa. Jubai is impressed with Ye for guarding a princess. Tuya quickly asks why the Takeda clan is attacking. There are rumors that Lord Tadika Shinjin is dead, and the dark mage strategist Yamamoto Kansuke is using his name. A ninja named Tsubaki appears, revealing a letter from Kasaka Masanobu of the Elite Four under Shinjin. It turns out the theory is correct. The letter asks for help rescuing the other 3 Elite Four members so they may take down Kansuke. Tsubaki reveals Kasaka has been feigning loyalty to buy time. Tuya offers to help. Remembering Lean made her wings invisible, Tuya wonders if she can do that to other people. She confirms this is the case. Tuya decides to infiltrate Lean and Tsubaki. Tuya uses recall on Tsubaki, much to the ire of the girls. At nighttime, Tuya, Lean, and Tsubaki, they have arrived outside the compound. Lean makes herself and Tuya invisible. Bright side, those under the spell can see each other. Tsubaki offers to destroy the source of the barrier, only for Lean to advise against it as it would alert Kansuke. Tuya agrees they should follow Tsubaki in, closing his gate. They sneak into the dungeon, freeing the 3 captives Elite Four. Tuya uses modeling to bend open the cells. Tuya tries finding Kansuke, but the barrier blocks his search. Lean informs him that the talisman powering the barrier must first be destroyed. It turns out it's just past the armory. They quickly see an unlit lantern giving off a dark ore. They confront Kansuke via gate. Attempting to strike him calls forth an undead warrior. Kansuke pulls off his eye patch to reveal a red jewel, which he calls the Gem of Immortality. The next day, Baba hears about Lean's wish to find the Niryu ruins. He knows where they are, but the ruins are at the bottom of the ocean. Baba explains he went to an island near the ruins, which Lean deems good enough. Yae bids her family farewell. Jubai tells Tuya he will repay the debt he owes him for helping resolve the incident. Tuya turns down the offer. He opens a gate to a beach where the girls are in awe of the beautiful sea. Everyone takes in the sight of the beach. Yamaina, Linza, Els, and Yae have fun in the shallow water. Linza wishes they had brought swimsuits, shocking Tuya that those exist. The girls ask Tuya to take them back to Belfast Mansion so they can shop in the city for swimsuits. Tuya creates tents for people to change into, along with some pool toys and lounge chairs with umbrellas to accommodate everyone. As the girls change, Yamaina and Els stare anxiously at Linza, Yae, and Cecile's breasts. Els, Linza, and Yae greet him. Tuya promptly gasps at their beauty. Tuya is next greeted by Sue and Ren, who by now have become close friends, in their swimsuits, telling them they look cute. Cecile surprises Tuya, offhandedly complaining her suit is too small for her breasts. She runs off to keep an eye on Sue and Ren. Tuya. Lapis surprises him next, having heard his vague musings. Tuya passes it off as concern over the water donuts he made for the kids as he watches Sue. The king and the duke are having a swimming contest, with Lion starting to outpace them. Tuya is greeted by Yamaina in her white bikini, who he also calls cute in her suit. Lean walks up behind him in her blue swimsuit, tricking him into picturing Tsubaki in a swimsuit. Tuya swims to the ruins, but cannot go in due to limited air supply. Lean is disappointed, but Kahaku reveals she knows an entity with dominion over water. This leads to Tuya summoning the Black Emperor, an old friend of Kahaku's, a turtle and snake who share the title. To form a contract with the Black Emperor, Tuya has to prove himself by defeating them. He casts an infinite slip spell to have the turtle trip repeatedly, dizzying both the Black Emperors. Yamaina and Yae are playing volleyball at the beach against Linza and Els. The Silhusika sisters win, but Linza's bikini top falls off. Back to Tuya. The Black Emperor admits defeat to Tuya, having become too dizzy to move. They ask for new names to contract with him officially. He names them Koku and Sango, respectively. They take chibi form like Kahaku to make it easy to aid him. They return to the beach, where Tuya explains he will spend time with the girls. However, they are highly suspicious of the time Tuya had with Lean. They demand to know who looks best in a swimsuit to him. Unable to choose, Tuya picks Sue for her cuteness. Linza, Els, and Yae take it the wrong way. At sunset, Tuya asks Koku and Sango for help. They cast a barrier to repel water, allowing Tuya to breathe and move like he was on land so long as they were with him. In ruins, Tuya finds a teleportation relic. His familiars tell him to pour magic into it. The teleportation activates and takes them to a garden with a sky view. A green-haired girl in a blue shirt approaches. Tuya turns away, asking her why she is only in her panties. Loser Tuya, Kuroyu, and Sango arrive at the unknown location after activating the mysterious platform, only to discover a young girl approaching him. She introduces herself as Francesca, but prefers Seska. He begs her to put on something. Koku and Sango note that there is no life energy in Seska. Seska explains she was created to be the Garson's controlled Terminal 5092 years ago. Tuya thinks Seska is a robot then. Seska asks his name, upon getting it. She tells Tuya he has been deemed compatible, making him the owner of the garden and Seska herself. Still confused, Tuya asks how he is compatible. Seska explains only some with an affinity for all elements can use the teleportation to the garden. A failsafe, Regina added. Tuya thinks this was the test, but Seska confirms that the panty debacle upon his arrival was the test. Seska notes Tuya is a closet pervert with good self-control, making him better than who could come by next. Tuya quickly defends that he is not a pervert and has confidence in himself. Back at the Ishan beach, the girls are still waiting for Tuya. Lean notices that Charlotte is still there, wondering why she's still there when she has work to do back in Belfast. Charlotte quickly leaves. Leanza worries about Tuya. Lean assumes that since he isn't back, things are going well. Even someone without interest in archaeology would be impressed with stuff they find in ruins. Everyone enters the garden through the gate. They are in awe. Lean notices its architecture is similar to the ancient Partheno civilization. Tuya wonders who they were. Lean explains they were an advanced society with many magic spells and magical devices like the artifacts to use them. Seska's presence is revealed. Lean wonders if she's another woman for his group. Tuya denies it, explaining Seska is in charge of the garden. An upset Leanza demands Tuya kneel in front of her. Yamina takes Leanza, Els, and Ye for a walk in the garden, leaving Lean with Tuya. Despite the trust Yamina has in the fairy Ye, Els, and Leanza worry Lean will make things worse. Yamina reminded them of their conversation when they moved into the Belfast mansion. Yamina makes it known she is aware that Els, Leanza, and Ye love Tuya just as much as she does. Els always admired the dress Tuya got her. Leanza followed him to ensure and didn't go into naughty shops. Ye asked Tuya to heal her more than Leanza. Yamina tells them that she will monopolize Tuya, offering a polygamous marriage so they all can be Tuya's wives. When the trio cannot speak, Yamina suggests that they continue as usual until later to see if anything has changed. Yamina asks about their feelings now, noting that they have become more conscious of Tuya after becoming aware of their own love for him. Yamina reveals her observations of the others reacting to Tuya. Tuya sits in a gazebo with Lean and Seska. Lean is impressed to have found a remnant of an ancient civilization. Tuya asks Seska if there is anything else besides the garden there, to which she answers there is not. However, other pieces are floating around the world, with an android like Seska in charge of each one. A dejected Lean realizes they have to find the other teleportation circles to get the other Babylons. Tuya wonders if Seska knows where they are, but she doesn't. Els wonders why Babylon got split to begin with. Seska doesn't know, as Regina didn't tell her. Tuya guessed Regina did it to tick people off. The question now is what to do with Seska. Seska asks to stay with Tuya, but starts going into a perverted monologue about joining him in the bath and bed. Seska explains she recorded his genetic information. When questioned about why she did that, Seska explains that it was easier to get a DNA sample, though sex was an option too. Leanza kisses Tuya, causing Els, Yamina, and Ye to shout in complete shock after witnessing Tuya. Francesca is added to the Belfast mansion staff as a maid. Tuya hastily heads to bed, not only the weirdness of her, but because Leanza's confession has made him flustered. In his room, Tuya thinks about Leanza's confession of love. Yamina enters, explaining she is angry with him. Tuya believes it's because Leanza is in love with him, as he is technically engaged to Yamina. Though to Tuya's shock, Yamina tells him she doesn't mind if he has multiple wives. She considers it to be proof of his masculinity if he is more than just her. However, she states her anger comes from Francesca stealing his first kiss. Yamina demands Tuya hold and kisses her. He hesitantly complies. Smiling, Yamina confirms that she is the first person Tuya chose to kiss of his own will. Leanza suddenly appears. Yamina explains she had Lean cast invisibility on Leanza, who maintained it with her own light magic. Tuya is convinced by Yamina to accept Leanza as his second fiancée. Per their request, Tuya kisses both of their foreheads and bids them good night. Tuya is dragged out of bed the following day by a fuming Els into the garden, where Ye was also waiting. They question him about his choice to take Linza as another wife, even if he truly feels affection for her. Tuya admits his feelings aren't loving yet, but he cares for her. Els and Ye order him to fight them, demanding he grants a request upon their victory. Tuya tries avoiding hurting them, pinning Els. However, it turns out it was a ploy by Ye to get him off guard. They knock him down, claiming victory. Els and Ye attempt to explain their request, but fumble and end up arguing with each other. Both finally snap and admit their love for Tuya. Tuya asks them for time to answer the four. In the Sky Garden of Babylon, Tuya sighs. Francesca finds him and explains she has a message from her creator. Producing a USB cord from her arm, Francesca tells Tuya that Professor Babylon said he would know what to do. Connecting it to his phone, a hologram of the professor appears. It's a pre-recording. After some perverted humor, she reveals that she used an artifact to peer into the future. She's watched Tuya's life and set up this mock conversation. She explains the phrase are causing the future to be in flux. However, Tuya wants to know about his own future. Tuya uses Gate to visit God for advice, unaware that his past is playing on God's TV. He calls in the God of Love, a woman in Greek-esque clothing. She explains that she doesn't control people's feelings, but sets up cliches to help them bond. Tuya wonders about more practical advice. Is it even right to marry all of them? She tells Tuya to abandon the common sense about romance from Earth. Polygamy is normal in his current world. The God of Love explains that love is meaningless if they all aren't happy. Tuya should consider his desires beforehand. Before Tuya leaves, the God of Love reveals it was her fault he walked in on the girls in their underwear as a cliché she hoped Tuya would like. That evening, Tuya has Kahaku bring the girls to meet him. He tells them immediate marriage is out of the question, but he is willing to get married in the future when they are all sure it's right for them. Yamaina and Linza take this calmly, knowing that their love for Tuya will not falter. Els and Ye, on the other hand, are saddened by the delay. Yamaina suggests Tuya kiss each fiancé. Tuya starts with Els, but she gut punches him unconscious in embarrassment. Ye whines that she didn't get a kiss. Outside, Lean, Charlotte, Francesca, Kahaku, Sango, and Koku watch through the window. Francesca reveals that Professor Babylon saw Tuya with 9 wives. Lean notes it's a high number.